what is your name?
My name's Christopher Revard.
Do you rent or own?
We rent.
Paula, I'm good. I rent.
My name's Jaydev. I rent a place.
My name's Noel. Right now I'm not renting. I'm actually sort of couch surfing. I'm staying in North Vancouver, but hopefully we'll be renting soon.
I'm John. I live with my parents, so we own it, yeah.
Do you ever see yourself owning real estate in future?
Yes, but not here.
Where?
Pretty much anywhere else.
In Vancouver?
Yes.
No.
Quite unlikely. I'm not sure at least for now, I'm not sure that's a great investment. Even if I see it as an investment, I don't think it's going to appreciate much in value, so I don't see the point.
No. No, never. I just don't think it's like affordable. It's a little out of the price range.
Where do you plan to rent?
Anywhere that I can afford, but hopefully like somewhere like closer to like the Richmond area, I think, just because it's like cheaper down there.
And are you planning to live with a roommate?
Yeah, I'm gonna be living with my sister.
How much do you plan to pay in rent?
I'm trying to find something between like 1,500 to 2,000, but even that is like kind of tough because I'm looking for like a basement or like a studio or some kind. But yeah, it's slim picking.
Do you find that amount manageable?
Not on like minimum wage, but yeah, there, gotta figure it out somehow. So yeah.
I'm kind of looking for a place with my friends, like a apartment or something. But a lot of them are very expensive. This city's way too expensive, and I think they overprice stuff too much. Like everyone has to be rich here, like to live here. It's pretty crazy.
What prices are best for you?
I would do like 1,500, 2,000 maybe. That's like for rent.
You think that is a manageable amount for everyone?
Basically, I think anyone could like pay that, but I feel like it might not be manageable for some people. Like for some people it's pretty hard, like especially if you're first getting going, like because I still live with my parents, like I haven't even moved out yet. I think most people can manage it, but it's definitely a lot harder.
So you're not planning to stay here for long term?
Not really planning on it, but also not planning on it. But yeah, we don't foresee us, like we're not trying to own a house here or
So
anything.
this is just because of the price?
Oh, totally, yeah.
It's funny that you ask because although I just moved here in North Van, this is like a short-term thing. I'm actually thinking of moving back to Asia where I'm originally from, and it's a lot more affordable in terms of cost of living. Probably within 5 years. That's just the reality. It's not just me. I know a lot of other people are moving out as well. If not in Asia, other parts of Canada that are more affordable, like Edmonton, for example.
I mean, I'm planning to move somewhere else is an option. I'm definitely open to that. But for now, I'll be renting for the foreseeable future.
I think I'll probably be here for like the next 4 or 5 years maybe, but definitely not longer than that. I'll probably move to like the East Coast.
Okay, why?
Cheaper. Also, I have family there, so it will be easier to sort of figure out things there, yeah.
How does it make you feel that you won't be able to buy your own house in Vancouver?
A little bit sad. Yeah, we've always talked about like owning something kind of when we first started dating, and that's kind of always been a goal. I grew up in a small town and everybody I knew pretty much owned, like their parents owned a house. So it was a very common thing to have that as a goal from a young age, like, oh, I'm going to own something one day.
It's really disappointing, because at least for me, I had a certain image of how I was going to live like my adult life. It's not really panning out, in terms of like my housing situation. So yeah, it's disappointing, but I do hope that the city figures out a solution for it, because like I said, it's not just me that's going through this problem right now. A lot of people are being driven out because of the high cost of living in Vancouver. Like you could afford a home, but then a lot of your money is going to go into your rent, food as well. It's hard to put sufficient amount of money into your savings, your retirement and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I stayed with them for so long.
Just because of the cost of living?
Cost of living, yeah.
I don't feel really bummed out by that. If I had to be a person who was trying to make a life here in Vancouver, that'd be a pretty hard situation.
Have you had to make any sacrifices or trades off in order to afford basic necessities?
Not really, I would say. We've definitely cut back on amenity spending. Like we don't buy things we don't need when we're grocery shopping, like ice cream and, like we just stick to bare basics for sure. Haven't had to take up 2 jobs or something sort of thing yet.
Absolutely, yeah. I was planning on buying a home for a long time, but then now I'm settling for rent. That's number one. Number two, it's difficult for me to justify buying a car just because gas here is pretty expensive, right? Because I don't have a car, I have to resort to like grocery delivery and stuff like that. Or if I need to go somewhere far, like my friends need to drive me, right?
I definitely look into my budget a lot more these days. I would eat out a lot while I was living in Singapore. I don't do as much of that now. I mean, I think eating out in Canada is more expensive, definitely. I don't think I've made a lot of sacrifices. It's just that I look into my budget a lot more closely. I don't spend more than what's necessary.
The basic necessities themselves, example, like my meds, like I'm not like regularly like taking the medication that I need because like I can't figure it out, how to like make everything stretch is just tough in general. But yeah, so I would say like my medication is like probably the thing that I can't cover, because I'm also not covered here yet properly. I've been having trouble sort of like getting all of the pharmacare stuff here, so it's been pretty expensive. Yeah.
How can our elected official can help make the situation better?
Just more affordable housing. It's kind of supply and demand, right? Like there's a bunch of apartments going up and stuff, and they claim some of it's affordable housing, but is $1,400 a month affordable? Not
We
really.
should have 5 roommates.
Yeah, right? Yeah, totally.
Have more immigration, particularly for those who know
More
how-
immigration.
More immigration, yeah, particularly for those who know how to build homes, buildings, and stuff like that. And number two, perhaps expand, start more cities, more towns where we could build those houses.
Affordable social housing is like a big win. I think that the way that the city is developing and like all the sort of like private investors in real estate should be like clamped down on. And I think for me personally, like I'm participating in a lot of just like organizations here that are like working to like address some of the problems around homelessness. So I think like for folks who are struggling with that, navigating that, or just care about it, just like join an organization that is doing like work around that stuff.